Welcome back to another video, and today we'll be discussing the newest makeup announcements and releases. Welcome back, and it is time for my regular every 2 weekly makeup news video, and as always you will be seeing the images here and about the launches we're about to discuss. So I was already thinking about this like some time ago, that if we are now having the Christmas launches announced or revealed so early, and a lot of them are in the market. I'm for example wearing currently a Christmas palette, which is the Dior Backstage holiday release, and I'm also having one of the other like holiday queens from Dior's main line also in my current 2-week rotation. So like the holiday stuff is already out, and I was thinking like that, okay, but what are we gonna talk about in the makeup news videos for the end of the year? And it seems indeed we are going to discuss 2025 makeup, so buckle up. We are not, apparently this year makeup industry has been like that, okay, yeah, we're done with this year, and now we're already seeing sneak peeks about 2025. There isn't like still I think a huge amount of announcements from next year, but it is definitely I think showing that okay, but now that the Christmas stuff is out, I'm actually thinking that, well, if Christmas stuff is still gonna be out, like what are makeup brands gonna then launch at the end of like November and the beginning of December that is gonna make us like spend the money on, because if we now buy the holiday stuff, I mean I'm assuming the brands are not just gonna wait that okay, we're gonna have like a couple of months break and then come January and February you're gonna get new stuff. So that's not how the makeup industry has worked like for some time now. So we shall see, are we gonna see some kind of trend of filler launches or something coming for the period when all the holiday stuff has launched, but they still don't want to bring that like main stuff from next year to the market. But yeah, let's now get to the launches. There's quite a few to go through. Okay, let's get my trusty phone out and see what are we gonna do. Some of these are, again, because I do these every 2 weeks, so some of these have already launched or there's been actually like already reviews of them on YouTube. So this is apparently Natasha Denona's like smaller holiday releases. I do still believe we might see a midi palette from Natasha Denona coming out with before the Christmas, but so far this is what we have gotten. So this is the Baby I Need a Nude, and then the Mini Rose Cheek Duo, and these are the sort of small ornaments. I have the face duo or cheek duo that this has, because this is a re-release. I believe this might have been was this officially a limited edition? Because I believe I picked the duo up from either on her website or from a Sephora I was visiting last year. I'm not actually sure was the Mini Rose Cheek Duo originally a limited edition release, but now it's coming out at least in a new package. And then the like mini palettes, I have always said that I think the 3-pan mini palettes are the most redundant thing that Natasha Denona has ever come out with. And this mini palette apparently has all the shades are duplicate shades, so if you have the original I Need a Nude palette, you don't need this mini one, because then you have the shades on the bigger palette. There's also an eyeliner in the set, so I have always I'm the person who thinks that with the Natasha Denona, save a bit money and then buy the 5 pans if you want to buy something smaller from her, because I truly don't think that these 3 pans offer a good value, and also the fact that you just don't get any variety with these ones, at least with the 5 pans. There's a bit also variation how good variety the 5 pans offer, but some of them I do think are actually quite smart color stores 5 pans. But if you for some reason want either of these items, I think these are already available on her website and I think in quite many of her retailers. So this is another holiday launch. So Danessa Myricks has come out with a holiday set, and this has 4 of her Yummy Skin lip and cheek products. I think the people mainly use these for blushes, but Danessa Myricks likes to advertise that you can use these also to your lips. It apparently has 2 minis and then there are 2 full-sized products. So there's I'm trying to look at shades. So there's 2 Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flushed Matte Colors for cheeks and lips. And then there are 2 Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flushed. But are these also matte? So are they all matte shades? I'm not too familiar with the shade range of this particular product, so it could be that some of these are new shades and some of these are existing shades. I'm actually thinking that if you have been looking to buy into these Danessa Myricks cheek products, then this set might actually not be a bad option if you like the tones in this one, because I did notice when I looked at the shades that these are pretty red leaning, so you do have to like your red leaning blushes to want to get these. But this might not actually be that bad of a value if you're especially someone who doesn't own this product previously, but you would like to try a variety of the shades. So not the worst holiday set, I'd say we have seen. Then from Fenty, this is apparently belongs to their holiday line of holiday sets, but apparently this is so far an Ulta exclusive. So this is $34 and this has one of the liquid lipsticks and then a mini gloss bomb in a red shade. So it's in the Icon Velvet lipstick in the MVP shade, and then the mini gloss is apparently a limited edition shade called the MVP. So apparently the liquid lipstick doesn't have a corresponding gloss bomb shade previously, so the mini gloss bomb is the unique thing in this one. If you like your reds, I don't think like with a maybe different color variation I could be actually like up to this kind of, because I have always said that you could actually like, it takes quite a while to use even the smaller gloss bombs. I have now currently in my collection only the bigger ones, and I've been trying to like not open them all at once because it takes quite a while to use the big one, and also even the smaller ones last quite long. So I actually would not have minded getting these kind of duos in also other shades with having the smaller gloss bomb, and I think the liquid lipstick might be a full size, but also maybe a mini of the liquid lipstick, because also takes quite a long time to use those up. Could have been nice. But as this description said, I think this is an US Ulta exclusive, so I don't know if this is gonna come out to any of the other markets or even Fenty retailers. MUA Makeup Academy has two new launches which I'm both gonna discuss. So first of all, they have now announced their liquid blushers in shimmer versions. This is a drugstore liquid blush formula that I would actually recommend if you're looking, if MUA is available to you, because this is, I think, one of the like very good liquid blush formulas where the formula is buildable. You can get a thinner layer, but it also builds quickly and it just blends very nicely. The tube packaging, yeah, it's a bit cheap, but then you have to consider that these aren't very like that expensive. I'm not a fan of shimmer blushes, so this is a skip for me, but if you have liked this formula, or if you're looking for a good shimmer liquid blush formula from drugstore, this could be a good option. Then another launch was this one. So MUA had this very big all matte palette. I think they originally released this during last year. The big matte palette actually just recently came to our retailers, but I've always said that the MUA stuff is pretty slow in terms of coming to our retailers. But what they have done, which I think is pretty smart, is that they have shrunk down the sort of matte palette into one of their like smaller rectangular palettes. I don't need an all matte neutral palette, but I do think this is pretty smart, because I do like that even, yeah, though the plastic packaging of these one, the smaller size of this palette is pretty cheap, but they are actually quite convenient to store because they are quite thin, and also the fact that I think most people will actually think that you don't need like this very big palette of neutral shades, but the one in the smaller format is actually quite enough mattes, especially if you like your neutral shades. So Alter Ego has released another dupe palette. So Alter Ego is a US based brand, and they are known for doing dupes. They mainly dupe, I think, Natasha Denona and Huda Beauty are the ones that they have been duping like for the last couple of years. And this is the Misthaven palette, and it has 18 shades, and this is duping the pretty grunge palette from Huda Beauty. So that was Huda's holiday palette, or it's not. Huda launches her new big palettes around the holiday, but they're not officially holiday palettes. They are actually meant to be like sold all around the year, which I think is a pretty smart thing to do. So not make it a limited edition, but launching it initially to holiday market is actually pretty smart, but also people can buy it outside the holiday. But regarding the Alter Ego palette, This I didn't get the pretty grunge because I felt that the color story, it just wasn't it for me. But if you were looking for a more inexpensive alternative, and especially if you live in US, this could be a good option to look into. I do like how Alter Ego actually arranges the color stories. I do think because they put it into more of a like cohesive color rows instead of it being the like colors being thrown, the different tones of colors being thrown around all around the palette. This actually is, I think, much better way of placing, and I actually do think the sort of box design this has is actually pretty nice too. Not something I'm looking into because I think if I would have liked this color story, I would have just gone and bought the Huda palette last year when it launched, but if you were waiting for a more inexpensive option for this one, then the Alter Ego palette should be available. So next bit random thing, and I was already thinking that maybe Makeup Revolution was planning to close down this brand because they have been definitely trying to scale back with their launches in general. So Relove, which is one of the many sub-brands of Makeup Revolution, which was, I suppose this was meant to be even more inexpensive like version of Makeup Revolution makeup and Makeup Revolution's makeup generally. The prices have gone up because everything's price has gone up, but this Relove was supposed to be like that, yeah, this is gonna be like our the most inexpensive brand that we have in our line. They have come out with a pumpkin spice themed collection, and there are actually some cute items in this one. I was like thinking that actually the cheek liquid blush colors and actually the liquid lipstick colors, I think, are, yeah, PSL cream lipsticks. I'm actually not sure are those glosses. They look pretty matte, so I think those might be, yeah, they are liquid lipsticks that reach in the packaging. So I think for a sort of pumpkin spice themed drugstore collection, this was actually pretty cute. I certainly don't need anything from this one, and this is not something because I would have to order this online. This isn't gonna be something that I'm just gonna make a purchase on their website. But I think some of these items look actually pretty nice, and yeah, I'm just very confused, like I think currently what Makeup Revolution is planning to do with all of their sub-brands, because I definitely think they have been more focusing on their mainline launches recently, and I'm still kind of expecting as a part of their like new strategy that they have clearly implemented that maybe at some point they will start like cutting out these sub-brands. But at least with the Relove you have now a new collection, and as I said, this is pretty cute, and if you can buy this from UK drugstores, then maybe some of these items could actually be pretty nice. So foundations, and I think I mentioned this previously when I think there was another high-end brand foundation that there hasn't been a lot of foundation releases, but that's just purely because usually all the foundation releases usually come out at the beginning of the year. So Dolce&Gabbana Beauty has released new Everlast foundation. This is actually a brand that has now launched in our country, and I actually did watch their sort of display in one of our department stores, and it's certainly a look, how should I say, like everything isn't hideously expensive, but then again, it's nothing like when you compare YSL or Lancome and Estee Lauder, so I'm not gonna say that Dolce&Gabbana is like hideously more expensive to other high-end brands, but it's a look. I'm still unsure how I like the sort of golden, very over-the-top packaging they have. As for example, with this foundation, you can see there's the heart shaped in the cap. Something I was like, I think was the highlighter, which I think would have been like as a display item very nice. And then I was thinking that I'm not gonna pay the money because the highlighter was, I think it was like over 60 euros or something. I was like thinking that, yeah, I'm not paying that much for a highlighter just because I like the packaging a lot. But anyway, back to the foundation. I do think the foundation, at least based on the image, seems to have a decent shade range, because I do know high-end brands have been some critiqued, and some have been critiqued pretty for a good reasons, that they haven't been catering to a broad spectrum of different shades, but I do think that at least based on the image, the shade range looks pretty decent. What is this promising to do? Provide some blurring and smoothing effect with all-day shine control. This could actually be a foundation that I would actually enjoy. $59 US. I'm trying to think, because I do believe this was already available in our stand, so I'm trying to think that was this over 60 euros. It was somewhere between 50 and 60 euros, so definitely very expensive for a foundation, but again, I don't think it's nothing that more expensive compared to other brands at similar price point. There are 40 shades, so it is pretty. I'm having the image of all the shades in front of me. I do think the gradient is pretty good, so I will give them credit for that one. I wonder, can I use discount coupons for our Depot? Because they have some brands that are excluded usually from discounts. I'm not so sure if this is going to be one of them. This is going to be a brand now that because it's accessible and I can get it in the store, so I think this is going to be a brand that I'm going to now be eyeing a little bit, and then after some time, because the products are quite expensive, then maybe at some point I might get one item and try it out. But I think I will be trying out with something like a blush or a liquid lipsticks, and then if I like it a lot, then maybe consider that would I want to spend that much money on a foundation. But based on the description, because this seems to be a more mattifying foundation, this would actually probably suit my skin tone. If you like your Dolce&Gabbana products and if you like a more mattifying foundation, I think this is already, as I said, available on their retailers, so you can get it. So Byredo has released their holiday quint, and I do have to say, from all the holiday quints we have seen, this definitely has a very different kind of color story. So I think this year's trend from high-end and luxury quints have been a lot of gold and a lot of burgundy. And then we have gold and silver, but we have gold and silver with high-end brand holiday quints every year. So this is definitely this sort of murky green with some purple. This is definitely something different, so I will give Byredo credits for that. I haven't yet seen this in our Byredo retailer. We do have department store that sells, so I haven't seen how this looks in real life. But if you like your grungy colors and you want to spend it on Byredo because these are very expensive, then this could be an option. I will give them credit. This is truly something different. So next one, I'm actually gonna be talking both Vieve releases in one. So Vieve has come out with a couple of holiday, I believe these are more sets. I'm unsure do these actually have any new products. So the first one is a duo of their lip glosses. So there's a duo, one that's red and one that is gold. Well, I think this is very holiday appropriate and they come out, I think this is, the packaging is like a thin packaging that they come in. So I think the lip duo is actually quite holiday appropriate. We have some red, we have some gold. So if you like Vieve's lip products, this is something to look into. Then a more of a sort of a bigger, again I'm not so sure, is this like a collection or is it a set? I think this is meant to be a set. So this is called Paint the Town Red is Here. And apparently with this one there's a satin slip lipsticks, there's a Soul Shadows, so I think that's the eyeshadow palette's name. Yeah, so there's a new quad which I think is called Guild, and then they have a Sunset Blush Plum in Strobe. Strobe is just, so I think it's strawberry, but they have it's a shorten. Again, when I'm looking at this, I do think if this is meant to be, actually I'm not sure is this officially a holiday release or is this just a fall release. Based on the red shades, this would be a very holiday, appropriate for holiday, and the neutral palettes are usually what brands release for holiday. So don't quote me on this being a holiday launch, this could be their fall launch, but Vieve is one of those brands that I can appreciate, that they do seem to have high quality products, but it's not a brand that I feel especially appeal to try anything from, and it's a brand that I actually have to like buy online from Cult Beauty, so I can't also get this in store. But if you like your Vieve products, then both of these should be available, I think soon, or they might already be available at least on their own website. So Kiko came out with quints, and this is apparently a collaboration with Sara Sampaio. I have no idea who that is. I assume she's a model or influencer or something. I'm just looking at these and I was thinking that did they try to dupe the Pat McGrath quints, because these look awfully similar. It's a bit odd because I do believe these are called the Dazzling eyeshadow palettes, is what these are called, but I actually have watched few YouTube reviews and not all the shades, because I was expecting that if you have the name if you have the word Dazzling in the name, that it would be somehow very these like super sparkly, maybe even a bit more like special kind of shades, but some of the shades actually in the palettes look like very more like these metallic or satin leaning. So yeah, I was maybe like eyeing a bit that would I maybe like to order one of these from Kiko's website, but the color stories altogether are, these look a bit like similar with each other, and again some of the shimmer shades don't really look that dazzling, especially if you watch any YouTuber reviews of these. These are already available on Kiko's store and Kiko's website, so if you're interested to try out what kind of formula this has, then go ahead. But this was definitely something that I initially thought that, oh, that's exciting, but then when I actually saw how the palettes kind of looked, I was thinking that, yeah, but that doesn't exactly look how the products are advertised, so it's a skip so far. So Glamlite, and we're gonna actually talk about both the Glamlite releases in one. So first one is the collaboration with Coca-Cola. And with this launch they had 2 eyeshadow palettes, there's 2 sets of lip glosses, and then I believe they came out with a highlighter that's in a cap design, which I do think the highlighter was actually the most like, design-wise the most, like I think, well-done product in this particular collection. I was kind of eyeing maybe the Cherry Coke palette because it has the sort of purple and pinkish vibes, but then I was thinking that this is not gonna, because I didn't see this yet come out to Boozy Shop, and I haven't seen yet Will Monolith Shop stock this, and with IP collabs there's always the risk that this could be a US exclusive, but so far I haven't heard from anywhere that this is something that they can't like sell to their retailers outside of the States. But so far I haven't seen like either of these in the European retailers that usually sell Glamlite, so that's also the reason why I haven't been really like actively contemplating would I actually buy this. I think the original Coke palette looks very much similar what they have come out with. It looks like all of their Halloween palettes last year, so I do think it's good that with the Cherry Coke palette they actually could do something a bit different, but especially I think the normal Coca-Cola palette in this collection, it looks just too similar to what they have come out with previously. The lip gloss sets are nice. As I said, I think the most standout item from this collection was the cap highlighter, like at least design-wise that was like something that I thought that, oh, that's actually pretty smart, but this wasn't like something that made me want to go that, oh, I really have to get that from Glamlite. The second Glamlite collection is actually one of their official Halloween collections. I do believe they might have said that this year they are gonna come out with many Halloween collections, so be prepared for that one. So this is the Glamlite and Michael Myers Halloween collection, and I will actually give them credit from the fact that this palette actually looks different from all the Halloween palettes they came out with last year, because as I said with the Coca-Cola collection, there was a lot of greys and reds and blacks going on last year. I actually don't mind this. I'm not a fan of horror themed makeup, so I'm automatically out in terms of this collection, but just if I look at the color story with the eyeshadow palettes alone, I do like this sort of blue, orangey, bit of grey mixed in. I think that's a pretty cool color story. There's also a mirror in this one, and then I think there's also a shifting highlighter, and there might actually be a lip product too included in this one. So I think from the Glamlite collections that if you're looking to which one to buy, I do think this horror collection is like, I think there was something like generally different about this one, but because I can't tolerate horror movies, this is a skip for me. So Milani has come out with a Stay Put Liquid Lip Shimmer lipstick, and now I'm thinking that are metallic lip products coming back into trend, because one of these shades, especially when I'm looking at the darker berry one swatch, that looks like a very opaque metallic lip formula, and there's actually going to be another metallic lip product that we're I think going to discuss last in this video. So far there's only 3 shades of this one, and these are $15.99 US each, and if this comes to Europe they're going to be more expensive than that, but if you live in States that's how much they're going to cost. I'm not a fan of these opaque metallic lipsticks, so for me this is a skip even if it would be available to me. So then something that at least as someone who lives in Europe, I wait pretty much every year what the brand comes out with for Christmas. So Beauty Bay has announced their holiday collection for this year, and this year they're having one of their there's one of their like, I think is it a 20-pan palette if I don't remember incorrectly. Let's see. So the holiday theme of Beauty Bay this year is called the Celestial Charm collection, and in this collection they have there's one of their 20-pan color palettes. Then they came out with a Mini Charms 9 color palette, and then there's a duo of their lip glosses, which one of them is a plumping gloss and one of them is a more shinier gloss that I think is not a like plumping one, but it's a normal gloss. I was mainly looking at the eyeshadow palettes. I do like the idea that they came out also with a like a small 9-pan palette. However, if you have bought from their 9-pans previously, this is much smaller size. I saw quite many influencers were a bit surprised when they saw the 9-pan that it's actually like it's truly a mini. But the 20-pan palettes, it's in line with their other limited edition palettes. This immediately, when I saw the color story, I was like thinking that yeah, that would have been great, but that's too deep for me. So with this one, there is for me and for my makeup preferences, I immediately saw that okay, there are a couple of very light shades, but then all the other matte shades go pretty dark, and also there's quite a lot of deeper shimmers in this one. So this one misses this one doesn't have the mid-tone shades that I need to have cohesive eyeshadow looks. It's also pretty jewel tone heavy, however I could have maybe gone with the jewel tone theme because the shades in the bigger palette, they are actually like more on the sort of like purplish, purple pink like lane of colors. So actually in terms of like colors in this one, I could have actually gotten excited about this one, but because the shades that are included are mostly very deep shades for me, I felt that for my preferences that this palette wasn't it. The Shimmer Shades palette, I was initially pretty excited, but then I started seeing swatches of the Shimmer Shades, and a lot of these are, because I was thinking that okay, is this going to be beauty-based version of some kind of a multichrome or duochrome palette, but actually a lot of the Shimmer Shades are these very sheer through, like more toppers or iridescent shades, rather than these opaque multi or duochromes. So if you buy the mini palette, I wouldn't have too high expectations for that one, because for me, I was like thinking that well, the idea was nice, but then when I started seeing the shades, I was like that yeah, those look kind of a bit disappointing when I saw people swatching them out. The lip duo is a no-go because it has a plumping gloss, and I'm not a fan of plumping glosses, so we are automatically not going to be buying that one. So Hermès will be releasing a limited edition highlighter in rose gold, and this is very beautiful. It's a good thing Hermès is not available in my country to buy, because this would be a very expensive highlighter that I don't think I really need. But I can appreciate this one, and the embossing and everything, like Hermès' makeup design generally, it's very on brand with their other products, and the packaging design is pretty like beautiful, but yeah. Well, this is not available for me, and most likely this would be too expensive as a highlighter for me, but it's a very beautiful highlighter. I can appreciate it from afar. ABH has launched their holiday collection. This is available already on our retailers, and I actually do have one product from this one. So I have the Mini Spice palette. It's in my drawers. It won't be in my rotation until in a few weeks time, but I already have like one palette from this one. And I was wrong, so when the Mini Spice palette was originally leaked, I did discuss, because Trend Mood in the caption had that it's one of the two palettes, so I was initially thinking that we're gonna get a bigger one and a mini. But actually I think what Trend Mood probably knew beforehand was that there's two minis in this collection, so that's what the one of two palettes actually meant. So aside from the Mini Spice, we have a Mini Sugar palette, which is a sort of more cool toned version that has a bit of a pop of blue, and then there's some lilac in it. Then they are extending their liquid lipstick shade ranges. This is a formula that I do know has gotten quite good reviews. I do think actually I was thinking eyeing a few of the shades that maybe I could buy one and try out. And then they are releasing two highlighters. However, with the highlighters, I do have to say that these look like every other ABH highlighters. So my question with these ones was that, okay, but what's new with the highlighters? Because we have seen this from the brand before. I'm pretty curious to try out the Mini Spice palette, and you will be seeing that in some time on my collective eyeshadow palette review video. I am still kind of thinking that I could maybe get one of the liquid lipstick shades, because the previous shades that have come out in this line haven't been that exciting, but actually some of the rosy shades do look actually nice. If I like the Mini Spice palette, I might be tempted to buy the Mini Sugar palette too, but I first want to try it because I haven't tried out. I know ABH came out with these mini palettes a few years ago when they made like mini versions of their like original popular palettes, so that was the Sultry and Modern Renaissance. but these are no original color stories, so that is why I'm pretty curious to try out the formulations of this one. Altogether, I do say I like this as a holiday collection. I think we have a couple of, like, there are like a standard items, the eyeshadow palettes. Yeah, the highlighters are something we have seen before, but they fit with the rest. And we have a small extension to their existing liquid lipsticks, which are popular. So as a holiday launch, I actually like how ABH has gone out with this one. It's not too big, but there are some nice items. So then something exciting, we finally have a Nomad palette that I think I'm going to be ordering next month. So, because I have now my sort of makeup budget for this month is pretty much like being used up, so that is why we are not immediately ordering this one. But this is actually supposed to be a staple line palette, so I also don't have the rush of this mini limited edition. So Nomad came out with the Speak Easy Vibes palette, and this is based on the Prohibition Era Chicago, I believe is the theme of this one. And I think the obvious reason why now this is the Nomad palette that I went out when I see immediately that, hey, that's actually something that I'm gonna get, was that this is a neutral palette that has a bit of pop-up colors, and this has been very much the vibe of makeup that I have been going in recent, at least during this year. So basically it has like, there's a bit of red there, there's a bit of purple there, but the only very punchy colors are the two greens you can see in the middle, because even then like the purple shades are more muted purples, and even the like red shades, there's the one like very punchy shimmer, which I believe is a duo or a multichrome, but actually then the like matte shades are pretty brown leaning. So I'm going to be now waiting until the end of October, and then when I have some more makeup budget to use, then I'm gonna be probably ordering this, and then I will be able to tell before the end of the year what I think about Nomad Cosmetics. But yeah, I like this. I do as a color story, and just as I think the design of this is pretty fun. Nomad does these travel themes very well, and I truly think this is one of their like better color stories altogether, and I do like how the color layout has been set out in this one. Okay, then something I'm a bit unsure, can I talk about this one, so I'm not gonna be putting out the like full name of this one in the description box, so we're just gonna talk about the new Huda palette that hasn't been officially announced, but it's apparently coming out. So this was something, when I saw this initially, I was thinking that I'm very confused about the color story of this one. So this has a, how should I say, this has a very strange mix of like pink, cool tone leaning neutrals, and then there's like these almost yellow sand leaning neutrals on the other side, and I really wish we could maybe see an official reveal of this, because the photos of this palette have been going on online now for a few weeks, and none of them have been taken down, so the brand must have known these are out, so I'm just assuming they have chosen to not to do, which I do think is smart, because there was, for example, Natasha Denona has been known that they have been quite rude to many influencers, when it's not been the influencers' fault that their products keep continuously leaking. So I think Huda's team have been quite smart that they have not made a number out of this one. They've been just thinking that, well, okay, the palette is leaked and at some point they will launch it, and but they're not gonna like try to make a big hassle out of it, because then it would just bring maybe more attention to the photos that are online. But I'm still gonna discuss about this one because I'm just very confused. Like I would be very curious here in the comments that now that you're seeing this, that like, what do you think about this one? Because for me, like, I can't, like, I think what's like I think like that if we ignore the two, like both of the outer rows of this one, so if we ignore the pinks and if we ignore this almost sand yellow leaning neutrals, the middle part of this palette is pretty like cohesive, and it's a bit like, I think, bit samey what Huda has come out, because Huda's the big palettes in the recent years have been pretty like neutral leaning altogether, but at least the like middle part of this one makes sense for me. But then when I'm looking at the two rows on each side, then I'm thinking that, what are we doing? Yeah, so this is pretty, I'm pretty confused, and I would really wish that we would see the palette in actual like daylight and different kind of studio lights to actually see that what this looks like in real life, because yeah, this is confusing. This is gonna be launching before Christmas definitely, because this is Huda's, I think, the biggest launch the brand does each year, but so far I haven't seen yet, because this hasn't been officially shown by the brand that what is the official launch date of this one, but I'm very confused. So, as I told that we are seeing product that I'm about to launch next year, so Chanel is gonna be launching a new sort of multi-use quad. I believe you can use this as a blush or eyeshadow, but I do believe these quads have usually been treated as more of a blush or highlighter quads. We are looking very peachy. 2025, if this is the vibe that all the brands are going to go in terms of 2025, this is very peachy. Like, yeah. I think there are like two shades that look a bit glowier, and then there are like two shades that don't look as glowy, maybe more satin-like. Yeah, so this is what we are expected to see from Chanel during 2025, and I have nothing else to say than just that this is very peachy. Not something that I'm immediately going like that, yes, I want to get that, because yeah, these orange leaning, especially orange leaning peach tones aren't usually something that I like. So something that nostalgia me was definitely like eyeing, so Bratz and Colourpop have done a collaboration, so I'm more of a Barbie generation. I did have a couple of Bratz dolls, but I was already like almost a preteen, so I was already like moving out of my playing with dolls phase altogether, but I did have a couple of Bratz dolls also. I do think actually in terms of color stories and what products they chose for this collection, so we have some lip kits, which I do think is very on theme with how the sort of Bratz, because they had very big lips, so I do think that actually goes with the theme of the dolls. And then we have some lip glosses, and then there's some like glitter also included, and also we seem to have some like these sort of diamond stickers that you can use to your nails, or you can just, if you want to do those on your face, that's also an option. Yeah, for me there's nothing in this one, because as I said, while I did have a couple of Bratz dolls, I do think definitely from nostalgia point the Barbie collections have been more interesting to me. But if you were a huge Bratz fan and you like these colors, because I do think the color story in general with the palettes and with the lip kits, they did kind of nail that one, but for me, this doesn't have the nostalgia value, so this is an easy skip. So Patrick Ta has revealed two new products. So Patrick Ta did have the sort of Barbie duo that had his blushes, and then there was a lip product. But these are apparently holiday specific, like gloss duos, and I do have to say for holiday, these colors are actually something that I usually don't see for holiday, because these are the more sort of lilac pink leaning. Usually with holiday we see a lot of red and gold. So I do actually have to give the brand credit that these are actually something different. This has apparently their sort of like plumping lip gloss, so for me, because I don't like the plumping effect that some glosses have, this is an automatic skip. But if you're looking for these are $39 US each. And apparently this is gonna be launching on October the 12th, so actually, is it today? No, this is already out by the time the video goes up. So yeah, if you like Patrick Ta and if you like his plumping glosses, these will be out pretty soon. So from e.l.f. we have so far seen only one holiday set, but e.l.f. has usually come out with quite a lot for holiday. But so far this gloss set is the only thing we have seen. So this is the Kit Glows Hard New Glow Revive Quad Gold Lip Oil Kit. Is apparently available already on e.l.f.'s own website. So apparently this has features a new and exclusive glimmer shade and three fan favorites. So three of the shades are existing shades, and then there's one that is brand new to this kit. So if you like this formula from e.l.f., this is already available on their website. Like 4 shades, this is like $32 US, which I don't think is hideous. But then I would say that do you actually need like 4 of these, and maybe consider would you just buying one individually, would it be good, and then it will be much cheaper. But if you really want all of these shades, then that's already available on e.l.f.'s own website. So then something that was a bit random, so apparently Arcane, which I'm now unsure is this a series or is this a video game, but Arcane and Fenty are apparently collaborating. And there's apparently a diamond bomb all over Veil, so one of their original highlighters. Then there's the gloss bomb quad in Arcane set. And now I'm interested to know that are the gloss bombs unique to this collection, or is it that they are existing shades, because the Transmute description doesn't really say a lot. And then you can also get gloss bombs individually. So I'm now a bit thinking, because I do think the packaging is pretty cool, even though I'm not familiar with this franchise, but I'm just thinking that are these, aside from the cardboard packaging, is any of these very unique shades, because we usually throw away the cardboard packaging. So, and I also think the gloss bomb tubes and also the highlighter, there doesn't seem to be any special embossing in the sort of like product packaging itself. So I'm a bit confused maybe at this point that if these are existing shades, then is it actually worth buying these, because if you can already get them in the Fenty line, and also if the product packaging really doesn't have anything special and all the special packaging is in the cardboard, which you're gonna throw away. So yeah, bit strange, but also I'm not, as I said, I'm not familiar with the franchise that Fenty is cooperating with. So more of products that we will be seeing on 2025. So this is Tom Ford's New Year's limited Rose Exposed. I was initially thinking that this is gonna be their Valentine's collection, but this is New Year's collection, and I'm assuming because this is red, this is especially geared towards the Chinese New Year celebrations. This looks like a lot that we have seen from before. The eyeshadow quad, it seems to be a very, I think, moreish leaning with maybe a bit of yellow, gold in it. Then there's a blush duo, and then we have a lipstick and two of the lipstick, and then there's is it just a cushion, and they're cushion foundations. I'm unsure, is this like gonna be one of those Asia exclusive releases, or will this actually come out to also other Tom Ford counters, but this is something that I think Tom Ford has done quite many times before, so I don't think this is anything unique for the brand. So yeah, but again, products that we will be seeing next year, and we're still in October, so that's something to think about. So Cookteam Cosmetics has announced a 5-pan. This is apparently coming to also Monolith's shop's next launch. There are actually going to be now 3 palettes from the brand in Monolith's next launch, so if you live in Europe, wait for that one. So this is the Tulip Dream, and this is a very spring vibes palette, which is a bit comical thinking that, yeah, we are still haven't gone through Christmas and now we're talking spring, but this is a palette that is gonna be launching very soon, so we're not seeing this on 2025. I do actually like the packaging of this one, but I was a bit thinking then the shades inside of it weren't very anything, how should I say, exciting. I think that some of the shimmers here might be like duochromes or multichromes, but altogether, if you are eyeing for this brand, then maybe look out the more bigger palettes that they are about to launch, apparently quite close to the smaller palette. So yeah, this was a bit of a strange launch, because I really looked at the palette and I was thinking that okay, yeah, there's 3 matte shades and then there are a bit of 2 shimmers, but it's a nice small palette, but not exactly something that I'm actually like currently in the mood for, especially considering that, yeah, we still haven't gone through Christmas and this is advertised as a spring-esque palette. So then a product that I'm thinking that they really think as an execution this looked like okay. So Maybelline is releasing their Sky High mascara in a Space Diamond Glitter edition, and this is now no way meant to like bully the model that has done this. The model looks very beautiful, but this looks basically like a dandruff on your eyelashes, and I have actually tried when I was like in my 20s. I remember trying out one of these like shimmer mascaras, and this is how they usually look out. So I'm not so sure is it actually good that Maybelline tried to go with the realistic depiction what this mascara looks like, but for me this, instead of having this beautiful glitter effect, this looks like having dandruff on your mascara. And also in this promo image they have also tried the mascara to your like brows, and the effect is very similar. So yeah, as a visual this just wasn't selling the product for me. This is, I think, something that's gonna come out before Christmas. I haven't seen this yet on our Maybelline retailers, but this is definitely like, I get it that this sort of glitter mascara, it might in paper sound like a very nice idea, but usually what I have seen is that these really they don't look that great on the lashes because I have tried a few of these previously. So then a Makeup by Mario release that I'm now actually pretty bummed that I can't get this brand. So Makeup by Mario has revealed the Moonlight palette, so this is gonna be $68 which I think is on par with the other palette that he has come out in the similar format. And this is a very basic neutral cool tone palette, but this is very beautiful. I actually like this more than the neutral palette that he has come out with previously that also sold out like hotcakes in different places. I think it's still quite hard palette to get. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped. So this is going to be available on the 15th of October, so by the time this video is live, if you want to get this, I believe the previous neutral palette, he made this in the same format, pretty much sold out from everywhere. So you might want to be on your, like if you're shopping from US, then probably at least on Sephora's and also Makeup by Mario's own website. And as I said, I'm pretty bummed that I can't get this one because considering the makeup that I have been preparing, this would very much suit it, I think, for the vibe that I'm currently in. But yeah, is this still like anything extraordinary? Like if you have a lot of cool toned neutral palettes, you probably have these shades, but at least I can appreciate this as a color story. And yeah, good for my wallet on the other hand that I can't get this because these also aren't like that cheap. So something then, a collaboration that I'm having very mixed feelings about. So Robert Welsh, who is a very good beauty YouTuber, and also he has a brother who does skincare YouTube, but Robert is the one that does makeup, and I do like his style of makeup and how he talks about makeup, and he has collaborated with Blend Bunny. And in this collection there's some lip products, there's lashes, and then there's palettes. And I already, when I started seeing the promotional photos, getting sneak peek of this one, I was thinking that okay, it's definitely gonna be another jewel-toned, colorful rainbow palette that we have seen from Blend Bunny a lot recently, and I was quite right. And I really wanted to like this release because I do like Robert, and the tones in these ones are at least a little bit different from what we have seen from Blend Bunny recently, but it's still very close to the sort of like grungy rainbow that the brand has been doing a lot, just again in a bit of a different variation. So I assume this is gonna come to Monolith Shop because Monolith Shop has so far released all the recent Blend Bunny launches, so I assume this is at least a palette will be coming. But I'm now pretty mixed regarding that would I want to get this, because Robert is one of those influencers that I would actually like to support, and as I said, this isn't luckily maybe as too much of the same that we have seen from the brand, but it is still quite close to the other sort of jewel-toned grungy rainbow palettes that we have seen from Blend Bunny. What I also like about this one is that we have two rows of shimmers, which is something that I think many people have said that from the brand they would wish to have more shimmer shades. And this has some gradients in terms of colors that I do like, but then there are also gradients of the colors that I don't like. There's the row of greens and blues, obviously, that are not like my primary colors. But yeah, as I said, this is a collaboration that I'm having very mixed feelings about. I do think that this is very on par with Robert's style of makeup, and and I think this is a good collaboration altogether, where the collaborating brand and the collaborator fit very well. But I would have just wished that Blend Bunny would have come out with maybe different kinds of products recently, because then this would have stood out a bit more. But because I think also the previous collaboration that they had, that also was kind of a grungy jewel-toned rainbow palette, so that is why I'm having a bit hard time with this one. But anyway, in terms of the fact that this does, I think, present the collaborator, and congratulations to Robert, but I'm still currently now umming and ahhing that is this something that I want to put my money forward or not. But yeah, we shall see. But so far, because I don't know when Monolith Shop's next launch is gonna be, that's also gonna depend quite a lot that if this is something that I will be able to buy. So more Patrick Ta, I could have actually discussed this with the lip glosses. So Patrick Ta is apparently jumping this train of individual shimmer shadows, or these are actually duos, but anyway, because these individual shimmer shadows seems to be now very trendy, at least with the mainstream makeup brands. At least based on the swatches, like these all look very pretty, but I'm just like considering that I have eyeshadow palettes and palettes full of special shades, like this duo of special shadows that because they are Patrick Ta, they are probably going to be very expensive. So for me this is a bit of a redundant launch, but if you have liked Patrick Ta's eyeshadow formula previously and you like this of individual or duos of shimmers, then maybe wait and see how much these are gonna cost and are there colors that you like. Also the colors in general, like it's pretty pink gold heavy, and I think these are like shimmer shades that he has had in his palettes previously, so that is why I'm also maybe not such a big fan of this one, but yeah. So far Patrick Ta has only sneak peeked this in his social media, so there's not yet any like information available when these are gonna be launching. So Fenty Cosmetica, okay, I'm actually refreshing, we're having also a bit more Halloween launches. So Fenty Cosmetica has come out with a palette, and so the palette is called Harvest of Souls, and apparently this is one of their bigger palettes, and so far it seems that is this now, I think this might be just a Halloween release, because I don't see of them mentioning in this one that there is like that it's a collaboration, because certainly they would have like tagged the collaborator. Yeah, so I think this is just there's like a basic Halloween palette, so this is indeed called Harvest of Souls. Very easy skip for me because this has this more of a grungier, deeper colors. I do like these are more on the like earthy tone side, but just that the mix of colors that is included in this one is just a no-go for me. So we have some greens and blues, and then there's like a bit of purple here. So I think if you like your grungy color stories, this is going to be a good palette, and I have heard that Fenty Cosmetica's quality in general, and again this is a brand that I would like to try, but again this is a color story that I'm just gonna say that yeah, no, but that's not for me. But this is going to be, when is this going to be out on their website? So this is going to be launching on the October 15th, so by the time my video goes live this should be out already. And there's apparently also some candles with this collection, so that's actually quite fun. Again, I think if you are in Europe, maybe wait and see will Monolith shop stock this one, so that's something to consider. But of course if you want to order this straight from the US, you can order them on the 15th. Then we are having two more products to go. So Moira has come out with a new chromatic show liners, and I think these might be like a multi-chrome eyeliners, and these are gonna be $850 each, so very inexpensive. With these multi-chrome eyeliners, especially on drugstore, I'm always a bit like skeptical about this, because in order to have this full multi-chrome effect you should have quite a lot of the multi-chrome pigment, and that's the most like expensive part of this one. So with these ones I wouldn't have maybe too high expectations, and maybe if you buy these then maybe like go with the expectations that they might be like a mild multi-chrome effect, but to truly have these very sort of stark multi-chrome eyeliners you usually would have to pay more, because you need so much of the pigment. But if you're looking to just maybe a couple of ones to try out, then buy a few and see that what kind of impact these have, but because the price is so low I wouldn't have too high expectations for these ones. And last product of the day, and this is what I meant when I said that are metallic lipsticks making a comeback, and I would hope no, because I don't think these look flattering on anyone's lips, but anyway. So Smashbox is dropping their SPX rated Flash X metallic lipstick. That's a long name. This is gonna be $22 each. I think that's pretty on par with Smashbox's prices, and so far I'm seeing, based on the swatches, that there's gonna be 4 shades. They are all pretty red leaning shades, and yeah, this was a trend that I didn't truly like need. I had one of the like metallic liquid lipsticks from NYX like many years ago, and while I did like the pink shade of it, and I was quite much younger back then, but I still didn't like, they still looked pretty, like getting them to look nice on your lips, like that required a lot of work. So just because these usually don't, like you would have to have very smooth lips to have these looking nice. That's the reason why I'm not a fan of these. And also some of the formulations I remember trying out of these, they are pretty patchy, so for these to work out you really have to have a good opaque formula, because then again the lipstick will look quite funny if it's a patchy metallic effect on your lips. But yeah, This is a skip for me, but of course if you liked your metallic lipsticks and you're happy that the trend is coming back, then you have options because you have the Milani ones and then Smashbox is coming out with the bullet lipstick ones, so yeah. But those were all the products for this week. This was a strange week, so like there were some holiday, we had some Halloween, then we have launches for next year. So yeah, I'm still confused about the Huda Beauty palettes, like color story, but I'm just like generally like, could we just maybe next year have the holiday releases phased out so that actually not before like the end of December we won't be talking about stuff that's coming out next year, because I'm just like, as I said, I'm pretty confused what the brands are gonna do, that if you're now gonna launch all the holiday stuff before November and December, what are we gonna be then buying during the November and December time when we have already bought the holiday launches. Like I have now bought, like if you count the, let's see, the holiday launches that I have gotten so far. I have had the 2 of the Dior holiday palettes, one from the Backstage line and one from the main line. I have now the ABH mini sugar, oh sorry, not sugar, the mini spice palette. Then I got the Fenty like lip gloss that's in the like ornament, the swirl version that's in the Fenty's holiday collection this year. So I have already bought like 4 holiday releases, and we're like halfway through October. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting end of the year. But we did have some like other stuff also that was like interesting. Like I do think the Nomad palette especially, like I'm pretty like stoked about the fact that there's gonna be now, I'm gonna be finally trying out Nomad during this year, because there's no palette that I feel was appealing to me. Comment down below what did you think about the releases and generally what you have been thinking about the fact that we're having like all the holiday releases already and now we're talking about 2025. If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from future content. You can also find me with the same nickname, Makeup Hedgehog, on Instagram. I hope we will see you again soon in the video. Bye bye!